Money talk, the Bush administration has hammered out an agreement between the mortgage and banking industries to freeze subprime rates. Joining us this morning, Vince Ingui, President and CEO of Levere's Mortgage Corporation. Good morning.
Good morning to you, John.
We're hearing about this plan. They want to freeze the rates, but it's not going to help everyone that has these subprime rates. Who is it going to help?
Well, it's going to affect or help borrowers that originated their loans from January of 2005 through July of 2007. These adjustable rate mortgages, these subprime loans, generally carry a 2 or a 3-year fixed rate period. So the Bush plan is going to help those borrowers that basically have been making their payments on time with the initial teaser rate or fixed rate period. When that adjustable rate period increases, many times it's a 30% increase on their actual mortgage payment, that's who the plan is supposed to help, not necessarily the people that were not able to make the payment on the initial plan.
I saw some rates where the example they gave is someone who had a $1,200 mortgage. Once these rates hit the first of the year, it'd be another $350 a month. We're talking about people who really, that would get them out of their homes. They could not afford that. Major
Impact. I mean, in 2006, I believe there was 1.6 million foreclosures. In 2007, already we have 1.8 working on 2 million. And the forecasts, of course, in 2008 are beginning to be grim. So that's, and coincidentally, we're in an election year, so all those things being considered and combined, that's why we're starting to see this vast movement between not just Congress, or not just the president, but you're talking about bankers and lenders, you're talking about Wall Street, and even some of these servicing companies that now hold many of these mortgages.
You mentioned that it is getting into the political season. Hillary Clinton beats the Bush administration and announces her plan. We're going to hear a lot about these two plans, especially today. How are they different?
I thought the timing of Hillary's proposal, and then also where she said it, I thought was very interesting also. She actually did it on the NASDAQ floor, which is, of course, the hub of electronic trading. But the main difference is, of course, the Bush plan, they both have a 5-year fixed interest rate freeze. So in other words, if you qualify, your interest rate will remain at the original interest rate for the next 5 years. The main difference between the Clinton plan and the Bush plan, of course, more announcements will come later this afternoon on the details, but what I see is the Clinton plan is calling for a 90-day moratorium. In other words, giving homeowners a 90-day period to actually consult their lender, negotiate the terms without the risk of foreclosure, hoping to bridge the gap between now and, of course, when this legislation or regulations take effect.
How do you see the forecast not only for the subprime rates but all mortgages? Around the country it's been hit harder than here. I've talked with realtors locally who say, yeah, it's starting to seep in a little bit. Here we're seeing housing values go down. I've heard the target date of 2009 when the housing market may start to rebound. What do you feel is about the right timeline?
I've been saying 2009 since early this year, and I think now I would consider that the optimistic year. This will help. I believe it will help, because it's going to hold us for 5 years for many of these subprime borrowers. When a foreclosure happens, it affects so many people. It's not just necessarily the people that have obviously lost their home, but their neighbors who have great credit, they've been paying their mortgages on time, their values are dropping. So there's such a ripple effect, not just in our domestic economy, but in the global economy. And 2009, I think, is optimistic and may even take as far as 2010, hopefully not as far as 2011, but I would say somewhere towards the end of 2009, 2010, if I'm looking at my crystal ball right now.
But the hint that this could be, it could go another 4 years or so.
And that's why this legislation is being put in place for 5. The lenders wanted it for 2. The government wanted it for 7. It seems that they've negotiated a halfway point here at 5 years, and I think that should be enough to kind of bridge us through this gap.
Okay. Well, Vince, thanks for coming in with your insight. We've got a long ways to go in the housing market, but hopefully this is the first step.